Hey Saners, apologies in advance for sounding like shit. Still a little bit sick, but got to do the preview, got to get that out. It's round 19 now, it's coming along very quickly. We've got the West Coast Eagles. It's 15th v 16th, believe it or not. We're 3 games clear of 16th. It's weird to say that. But yeah, it's been a tough week for the club again. Last week we lost Kingy and that was just great. Obviously not. And then this week we've had the loss, as well as Filippo now being injured, which we'll go through the injuries before we get into the full preview. And then obviously now the club statement about Lance. I won't go into that because this is the preview, so we'll just let that be for now. But West Coast, we've played them once already. We've beaten them. We had to work for it, as we always seem to do against the Eagles. 68-82 in Perth, so it was a good solid away win in the end. We came from behind, got going in the second half, took the win. The Eagles last week played the Lions, and this is obviously off the back of, it's taken me like a minute to get into it, but obviously the sacking of Adam Simpson and all that goes with that. A lot of Brisbane fans that I know were very worried about the bounce back, sacking a coach and then the team performing. They actually did well. They kicked 93 points against Brisbane and they only lost by 13. So Brisbane did have 26 shots to 23, so it kind of makes sense. They got that win. For us, we started well against the Crows. Wet weather came, and then we just shut up shop and we didn't know what to do after that. So that was the most disappointing thing, especially off the back of beating Sydney the week before and then Sydney going flog North, and you're like, okay, so we did beat a good team. We're not beating a team that's that out of form. But we can't take this game lightly, mainly because of the absentees that I've mentioned. Obviously, Max King's out for the season. We'll go through the injury list now. Paddy Dow is a test. Anthony Caminiti is a test. You'd imagine Paddy Dow comes in for Filippo, I think. Straight swap. 3 to 4 weeks for Filippo with his hip. Marcus Windhager, 4 weeks with his hamstring. Brad Crouch, TBC. Max Hall, TBC. So I don't think we're going to see Max Hall anytime soon. And obviously Jack Hayes, James Van Ness and King, all done. So is this the week that we experiment? I don't really think I need to preview this game in great detail just because it is 15th v 16th. It's more about the long-term plan, for me at least, in the next 6 weeks. Finals is out of the equation. We need to find out about players. So Allison, he's kicked 5 on the weekend, didn't he, in the VFL? Do we bring him in? Do we debut a KIlda or a Heath? Some people say yes, some people say no. They're not even close to being ready. But how long do you need to keep a player on a list until you give them a chance at AFL level and then you find out whether they can make it or not? Some players don't perform at VFL level. I've seen this. You've seen this everywhere. They suck at VFL. They get into an AFL team where they're around players on their level and they blossom. So I'm just, if we're not going to debut someone this week, we're not going to trial new positions, what's the point? We've got depth. We've got a lot of players at VFL level performing. Obviously, Garcia is another one that I want to see. I don't know if they're just going to give him a stint or like what we did with Filippo and bring him back in the last couple of weeks, or maybe Filippo's injury now has sort of unlocked that door to bring him back maybe quicker than they anticipated. So, on paper, we should still win this at Marvel. I'd like to say comfortably, but how often do we win games comfortably? We just don't. Our last 2 wins have been by 2 points and 3 points. So, yeah, that doesn't bode well, but it's at Marvel. I can't remember the last time we played the Eagles at Marvel, to be honest. Was it 20... I'm trying to think now. I feel like it's been a while, has it? Or am I just missing a game completely? Oh, no, we flogged them... No, we played them away last season. Yeah, I can't remember the last time we played them at home. I think that, the last 3 have been away. I don't know prior to that, but it dates back to mid-2022. So it's been a good 2-3 seasons since we played them at Marvel. It's an early time slot, 1:45 Saturday. So, that's a good thing. That just means that we can enjoy the footy and then have the rest of the weekend, assuming we don't bottle this and then our whole weekend is ruined. Obviously, the Eagles do have some individual players that are that you do need to worry about. Liam Duggan's in very, very good form. Elliot Yeo, he's just turned back the clock. He's playing very good football, averaging 0.6 goals a game, 22 disposals. Tim Kelly, a lot of their mids have actually improved. So it's funny, individually, I feel like a lot of their players have gotten better. Like Jake Waterman started the year on fire. still averaging 2.7 goals a game because of how good he was at the start of the season. Jamie Cripps always burns teams. Not really he tends to burn teams that we hate, which is nice. And obviously there's Harley Reid, who's averaging 18 disposals and nearly a goal a game. So put Machito Owens on him. I said this last time we played them. Didn't happen. Can we just do it this time, Ross? Like, just mix it up. Why not? Let's let him learn that craft. I hate people saying, oh, but he doesn't have midfield craft. He doesn't have it because we're not putting him there. That's how he learns his craft. And we're not going to take him to VFL level now with Filippo out. So, although I think, he is very lucky just with the form that he's going in, but I do back him to bounce back. Oscar Allen's always a worry. His height, very good kick. They've got Tom Barrasso wouldn't mind in the Saints Guernsey, to be honest. We should be winning this, regardless of anything, regardless of the injuries. We should be winning this. People say, oh, let's just tank. That's ridiculous. Also, statistically, we're 3 games clear of them, so we're not going to be... I don't think we're going to be losing more than 3 or 4 games for the rest of the year. Like, they're all at Marvel. We're good at Marvel. And last week, to me, was kind of a bit of an outlier. It did show, in terms of the midfield that we are lacking bigger bodies, but it's just hard to judge because I feel like if we had the Crows on a dry Adelaide Oval for the rest of the game, I just feel like we would have won that. But that's a terrible excuse. We should be winning whether it's rainy or dry. But the ins and outs are going to be interesting this week. Like, Zach Jones got a lot of heat during the week. Obviously, the disgusting email that got sent to him. I actually thought he was all right last week, so I don't think he's going to get dropped, to be honest. Bonner had a very, very bad game. And then Filippo's out. So who do you bring in? Do you bring in another tall, maybe Caminiti, stretch them a bit? Or do you bring in a Garcia, Paddy Dow? Or do you debut? Do you bring in someone new? So it's not really... it's a weird preview because I'm just more curious about the ins and outs because now it's really unpredictable for me. Like, I don't know. Usually there's a like for like or there's someone returning from injury or something like that, but it's very up in the air. So I feel like if we attack the game the way we've played... the way we played a quarter and a half against the Crows and then obviously for the majority of the Sydney game, if we play that way, I think we win this pretty well. I think West Coast will come to cause an upset, obviously. But, that's what every team does against us. They see us as this wounded animal and they want to take us down. So hopefully we can take them down, build some momentum, and let's just finish the year on a high. Let's win some games that we should, win some games that we shouldn't. That'd be nice. So put your comments down, Sainers, on the video. Let me know what your ins and outs are, how you're feeling about the game. Apologies again for my sort of lack of activity this week. Just been in bed all week, so hopefully I'm on the mend and I'll be able to get to the game on Saturday. If I can't, then that'll be really annoying. So thanks, Sainers. Please like, comment, subscribe as well, and I'll see you after the game on Saturday. And as always, go you mighty Sainers.